Does the force tempt to man to the dark, or do we just twist into the darkness? If the darkness is the user's fault, then why is it of the force, not of the user? So my interpretation of this is that there is a natural way to tap into the dark side. So, like for instance, in Rogue One, they talk about how the force or the dark side surrounds someone who's about to commit murder or to kill. And I think there's probably examples in the wild of animals that are doing that and perhaps tapping into the dark side, anger, aggression, rage, instinct, in order to survive. When it comes to human beings, I think because of consciousness, and in Star Wars, it's not just human beings, right? It's like all beings that have consciousness, their ability to tap into the force and use it with like malicious intent and seeking power, like ultimately, like the question you're asking is interesting, but I think it's important to note that the force and the dark side itself is really an allegory for how a human being will either become selfless or selfish, and a selfish human being will go down a dark path. That is the path to oblivion, being selfish. So that sort of selfishness is probably only achievable if you're a conscious being. There you go.
I would say man has tendency to be selfish and to want to achieve certain things in a timely fashion, and sometimes those timely fashions cause him to take paths that maybe aren't the most noble.
Yeah.
Like you
No.
want to make a lot of money, you steal something, for
Yep.
example, or like it. So I think when someone has the ability to use the force, they just kind of take that, and it really depends on their personality and their morals that kind of defines how they use the force. So I don't
Correct. Yeah.
necessarily think that the force itself has a darkness um or that it tempts you to turn to the dark side. I think that's really on the user.
Yeah. I think the dark side probably lives in every person just as much as the light side.
Yeah.
And a person's choices, it's like there's an old Native American like story about how there's two wolves inside you,
Right.
and it's the wolf that you feed more
Right.
is the one that will be prominent, right? And one's good and one's bad, basically. It's like a
Yeah.
similar idea.